And welcome to a impromptu podcast or video, if you will, for Say Hello Media. My name is Casey Lynn. Figured I would do a impromptu video, if you will, because this is a big day. Ronny Mauricio, highly touted prospect for the New York Mets. The whole season, everybody's been asking, where is Ronny Mauricio? Where is Ronny Mauricio? Everybody else has been called up. We've seen the Beatties. We have seen Alvarez. We have seen everybody else, Vientos. And everybody was wondering, where's Ronny Mauricio? On our latest episode of the Say Hello podcast that just aired, that we just released, Bill Pulsifer and I, that you can find on YouTube, which this video is on, Apple or Spotify, by typing in Say Hello podcast. We discussed, we never understood why, when the Mets are completely out of it, why Ronny Mauricio was not called up. Well, we recorded that earlier in the week, and he is up today, Friday. I would assume he is in the starting lineup as of right now. Lineups have not been released. And I just wanted to come on here and just vent or get some things off my chest about the state of the Mets. This will not be a long video, but we will address a couple things. Mostly the Mets right now and Ronny Mauricio, the baby Mets, if you will, and you know how it all intertwines. So once again, thank you for joining me. We'll call this an impromptu Say Hello podcast. It will not be on Spotify or Apple or Google where we have it, because right now I am just videoing it and speaking to whomever is watching. So Ronny Mauricio, as Bill Pulsifer and I discussed on the latest episode, we didn't understand, and the reasons that we came up with, we didn't come up with any. The only thing that we thought was that maybe off the field something, and he had to grow up. Speculation. We're not saying that. We were just trying to think of any reason why everybody was called up other than Ronny Mauricio. And we couldn't come up with anything. The only thing, maybe something off the field. You have to remember that Mauricio is only 22 years old. He is very young. Came up in the Mets farm system. Drafted, I think his first year was 2017. Only 22. Yes, Alvarez, 21, but Alvarez on a different level than Mauricio. Here's the thing about Mauricio that you may or may not know. Drafted as a shortstop up until basically this year, and maybe half of last year, the end. He was still playing shortstop. That is his position. The Mets dropped the ball on him. Why? Well, Francisco Lindor has that position locked up for another 8 years, and he has locked it up for the last 2 years. There's no reason for Ronny Mauricio to be playing shortstop in the minor leagues whatsoever. They waited, I think, a year too late to finally move Mauricio to other positions. Right now, it's second base, third base. They even tried him this year in AAA Syracuse in the International League in left field, and he had a little bit of an injury, and that set him back. The thing with Mauricio is he's got a lot of raw talent. He reminds me a lot of Alfonso Soriano. Mauricio is a switch hitter, again, 22 years old. Left field didn't work out for Mauricio. He did not play well out there, and also his positioning, or I should say defense, is one of the bugaboos of his game. So they move him around now, or have moved him around in Syracuse, rotating between second base, shortstop, and third base, namely second base. That's where he has been playing. The bugaboo is his defense, but also there are many more weaknesses of his game. And we'll go into his strengths because he has a lot. He has the tendency to strike out a lot and not walk a lot. However, in the month of August, I believe Mauricio took it upon himself when he saw that everybody's getting called up to the Mets now that they're out of it, and he sees the likes of Danny Mendick and uh, Abaruz, and even Abraham Almonte, not major leaguers. No disrespect to them, they have played well at certain times, but he sees this, and he had his best month of the year in August. He had, I believe, 8 stolen bases. Now he's not a get rate base runner, but he's fast, kind of like a Nimmo, and he cut down his walks, or I should say, he upped his walks. And those were 2 things that the Mets have been looking for him to do. And he did. Another thing about Ronny Mauricio is he puts the ball on the ground too much. And with his power, we saw it during spring training. This guy can hit. We saw it in spring training. He was the talk of spring training. And he has 23 home runs to date with the Syracuse Mets. He also is hitting .292 at the moment, 30 doubles, and up to 23 stolen bases, or maybe 24 stolen bases. Now, you have to take offense in the International League with a grain of salt. His on-base percentage is like .852, which honestly is the league average for the International League. Yeah, the average ERA in the International League, that's why you see all these home runs and pitchers' ERAs just loaded up. The average ERA in AAA, where the Syracuse Mets play, is 5-something, insane. So Ronny Mauricio finally, I don't know, put it all together in the month of August, and he will be up tonight and hopefully be playing every day. And we hope Brett Beatty, who's being called up today after his demotion for about a month, he was really struggling on the offensive side and the defensive side. Hopefully he fine-tuned some things and he gets it to go. These guys got to play every day in September. I believe there's 28 games left. They have to play every day, and I'm talking about the core 4, the baby Mets, if you will. Vientos, third base. DH, he could play, DH as well. Third base mainly is Beatty. So let's have Beatty at third, Vientos be the DH, and Mauricio has been playing, I believe, his last 12 games with Syracuse up until today at second base. So put Mauricio at second base and then move Jeff McNeil to left field, right field. We all know that McNeil can play the outfield. And Alvarez, of course, he needs to play every day at catcher. I know that won't happen, especially with catchers, and they've already said they're going to cut Alvarez's playing time down a little bit for Navarez, which is fine. But the other 3 that I mentioned, Beatty, Vientos, and now Mauricio, they need to play every day with Alvarez playing most days. We have to see what these guys have at the major league level, or at least get them equipped, at least them get the butterflies out. The Mets are out of it. They're 12 games under 500. They're not going anywhere close to the wild card, so forget it. They got to play every day. There's nothing holding the Mets back. Whoever makes those decisions, whether it's Buck, whether it's Billy Epler, the analytics team, a collaboration, all 4 have to play every day. There's no reason to have them called up if they're just going to rot away and sit on the bench. So I hope that they all play and we see what we got. Now, if Beatty didn't correct a couple things in the month he was at Syracuse, we can't just dismiss him. It's not easy to hit in the big leagues, and he's a top prospect for a reason. We hope that he has a good month of September. Same thing with Mauricio. This will be his major league debut tonight. We hope that he's starting tonight in the lineup. But if he doesn't perform well early, you gotta just hang with him. Not every prospect pans out. And the reason that Mauricio is getting so much attention is because everybody else has been called up to the major leagues except him. And also, most diehard Met fans remember spring training when Mauricio was insane. I mean, the power that he was putting on it. And then he went to Syracuse right after spring training when the Mets season started, and he didn't stop. So we saw all the highlights of Mauricio just hitting bombs. So I get it. It's a big day for the Mets with Mauricio. He's a big prospect, not the biggest prospect, but a switch hitter, fast, and power. That's what you're going to get from him. He's got to learn now in the bigs to cut down on the errors. He's not a good fielder. He's learning all new positions. The Mets waited too long to move him from short to second to third or left field. Right when Lindor got signed, Mauricio needed to go to another position. Why wait? So at least he played his last 12 games at second, cut down on the errors, and here you are. He's coming up today. So I think the biggest thing, as we're going to wrap this up, is all four play. We don't get too high, too low. It's with Mauricio and Beatty. You know, we see with Vientos, we'll talk about him for 1 sec. He's got unbelievable power. He just took, if it was, I believe, in a loss when the Mets were down 2-0 or 3-2, I forget the score, 2-0. Hit that ninth inning home run against Aroldis Chapman. It was 101 miles an hour, opposite field in the ninth, and then Danny Mendick grounded out, and that was it. But you just see the raw power that Vientos has. Vientos plays third, looking a little better there. Can play first, but you know, we had Beatty there, we got Alonso there. Not going into Alonso right now. You can tune into the Shea Low podcast with Bill and I, and we have discussed Pete Alonso at length and his extension or talks and trades and all that. But you know, Vientos right now is a third baseman DH, and Mauricio right now is a second baseman. He might play a little at third. Obviously, Alvarez is a catcher. So these guys got to play every day. And I want to see Vientos, you know, hit for better average. The guy's got amazing power. I'm not going to say he has Francisco Alvarez power, because that power is insane. We saw it when he won Rookie of the Month in May, I believe. And yes, Alvarez has not played well as of late, but we're not worried. He's 21. We see what's there. And we also see he's a great defender, calls a great game. Max Scherzer, Justin Verlander, when they were Mets this year, went out of their way to talk about how great it was to pitch to Alvarez, and you know, that is an unbelievable compliment coming from two first ballot Hall of Famers. So like to see Vientos get more, just get on base more. You know, that batting average is low. We see the power. Mauricio, no idea. Major League debut. I remember when David Wright got called up in the summer of 2004. That was big. I remember exactly where I was. This is not David Wright territory, but I'm telling you, if someone could really have an impact on a team, it is a player like Mauricio. He has got so many tools, and I'm excited to see where this goes, you know. But if they don't play him every day, and we have seen Buck Showalter, these guys are called up and then they ride the bench. If we don't see them play, then, you know, that we're used to it, and I'll just shake my head and whatever. But hopefully they play every day. Beatty up, Budo up, Mauricio up. We'll see what the corresponding moves are as I film this before the lineups are out and the Mets make it official. I would assume Mendick or Aruz is going down, or both, for Beatty and Mauricio. And we'll see what pitcher for Budo. Carlos Carrasco cleared waivers and other news, so he'll most likely be coming out of the bullpen, they say, which means Joey Lucchesi should be up. Why not? He's pitching in AAA. Every time I feel like he's pitched this year in the major leagues, he's pitched well. What, you know? Now's the time. See what you got in these guys. You know, I talked about the core four. Joey Lucchesi, you know, McGill out there every fifth day. Peterson out there every fifth day. Put Lucchesi out there every fifth day. See what you got. That's about it. This wasn't an impromptu video. I'm not gonna call it a podcast. It's on our, obviously if you're watching this is on our YouTube channel, which is, if you type at Shea Hello in the search bar, please subscribe. It's very simple. Just click subscribe, and you will be a subscriber of our podcast, which come in video form, and also we are on Apple, Google, and Spotify, but this is a video only. So that will conclude the video. I just wanted to talk about Mauricio and the Baby Mets and everything going on this minute. This was a short video, but I thank you for tuning in, and LFGM, everybody.